This is my paint booth. Before you knock it, realize that it's already been used and it's not very big. It didn't cost me very much. And all I had to do is lights I already had, a fan I already had, packing tape I already had, filters I already had too, and this I already had. So if you count what I had to buy to do this, it was $15 of plastic.
Brian's Mobile One.
That looks really good. As I mentioned in a previous video, painting can be really satisfying or it can be really frustrating. If you do it yourself, it can go either way and you'll either save a lot of money or maybe even spend more if you make enough mistakes. One of the things that can help reduce costly and time-consuming mistakes is getting some good advice. I already did that video. It's the last video. There'll be an end card for that. But another thing that you can do is control your dust and control airflow. If you can't see what you're doing because it's too fogged up, that's bad for your health. And it's also bad for being able to turn out good work because you can't see well enough to lay the paint down well. I got a couple of tricks for you. One of which is I put a headlamp on my paint gun right on top of the hopper. Anyway, and the other thing I do is I built an easy up paint booth. I had to paint a tailgate, a couple of hoods, a grill, and a bumper. And by building an easy up paint booth, I was able to turn out all that work and makes the in-laws happy and get some stuff done for myself without having to break the bank. I'm going to give you a little rundown on what I did. This is version 2.0. Version 1.0 is gone the way of the earth. It's died an ignominious death. And I've improved it and then kind of backpedaled a little bit too on the floor. We'll get into that in some more detail. As with anything, when you do something new, you find things that you can do better and then you tweak it and make it better. I look forward to tearing this down and doing another one and getting it even better than it is. I'll give you the inside scoop on what I would do differently the next time. Overall, it worked pretty well. I made some mistakes. I'll share those with you so you don't have to make those and you guys will have a leg up on this. I'll just give you a quick crash course. Before we get in, let's look at what I did for the fans. The fans are just sitting on the ground. Initially, I taped them to my filter housing, and that wasn't necessary. When they're blowing, they push this way, and when you have two things squared up like this, in order for them to fall, they have to slide on each other, and they don't want to slide, so they just kind of hang out and do their thing. You can change the position, and that lengthens the life of your filters. Did not do that on the first version. This is my door. So I've got a tape joint here, so it creates a rigid point to kind of hold that open. It's kind of like a tent, really. Just kind of duck your way in here. And then I've got a couple of these feet electric lights. I've been using these since probably 2002 or so. And I just use some of the paint this side plastic to coat over the outside of them. This keeps the lights clean, and it also kind of makes it more diffused, I guess. These diffuse pretty good anyway. That's unnecessary when you use the paint this side plastic because the paint this side plastic is perfect for testing and tuning your gun and your spray. That's one of the cool things about this design is a lot of booths you don't want to paint the walls. You have to put tape and paper and all that up. This you can paint the crap out of it however you want. The first version, the first two well I guess this would be the third version, but I did things in the side here, and I thought that if I had air coming in through here and out through there, it'd be great, but I didn't have enough volume of flow. And you have to have 0.5 meters per second, or 1.5 feet per second of airflow so that everything gets ushered into the filter. This is double layered, and I'll show you how I made these. This was the most expensive part of the paint booth. These filters were about $30. Thought it'd be a cool idea to mark my tin snips at whatever the width is here because there's conflict. When you want these to fit inside one another, you can't rebend what this is back here in order to make it fit, but what you can do is trim up these a little bit and make some room. The best, quickest, easiest way to do it is to just cut until you hit the black mark. Maybe I'm not the first to think of that, being an automotive guy, but in HVAC we always do little shortcuts like that. I used to do that back in my between college and high school. Get it all put together by the shape of it and by making square cuts and rivets. Oh yeah, that feels good. Love me a good right angle. Due to the soft frameless nature of these filters, you can squish them in and tuck them in without incident. So the reason I use an extra large framing square is that it just works awesome for one. It gets you far enough down the line because the trajectory changes a little bit. The advantage of being a little OCD in the beginning is that every time you slide filters in and out of this thing from here on out, I mean, they've got to be perfectly straight. It gives a great seal. You get maximize your surface area without rattling, or, I mean, the whole point is to keep dirt out. And it's just easy. You don't tear up your filters getting them in and out. These are actually made out of steel studs. This is hollow in the middle. I tried to make it the same height as the bottom of this, and I was going to have it be a door, but then I'd have to build a door frame, and I had to get her done. I had to get moving and put it up the way I did. After I built this one first, I had a bunch of these filters kicking around from a demolition job. They had a whole bunch of cases of the old filters and everything was getting scrapped. So I salvaged 3 boxes of these and I just made them fit into the same kind of a thing, but instead of having the gaps, I just did it the way that you see here. The next one that I do, I'll probably have this be mounted across the top here. I had some vortices in this corner, and the hood that I painted wound up having more orange peel, and I'm going to blame it on that. And the sun was in my eyes. But it just seems to make sense to have it flow from underneath the light here to down there. So air comes in through here. You saw the fans blow it out that way. You can see a fan here and here. And you see how there's all of that dust and gray here, and you can move the fan over, and that way you don't have to disturb things very much. One of the versions that I didn't use this type of plastic. I used another plastic, and the static would hold things on, but it would also let go if you were to hit it too much. It's a good idea to keep it tight. You can see that I'm not taping directly to the posts of the Easy Up. I just wrap it around and then pull it tight around the outside, and then I use packing tape, why not, to tape it up. The packing tape seems to hold really well. This also helps on cleanup because you just cut the top parts that hold on and then you slide it down the poles, and then everything's in the footprint and the mess is all contained. And then on these low spots, I wrap it up over the top. As for the floor is bad. It's like crepe paper. This plastic is not very heavy duty. It gets kind of tough if you paint it. The more you paint it, the tougher it gets, but it's not good for the floor. You can see that there's not really any tears here. Now there is. So I would use the version 1.0 plastic, or I would just use a watering can and just water the floor really good, and that'll protect your floor from getting paint on it. You're watching a demonstration of the HDX plastic that I was talking about from version 1. It's just really tough. Best thing you can do is when you do your walls, pull them tight like I say, but also tape them to the floor, or you can get a board or something and lay the board on it, and that'll hold it down. And then you take your watering can or a sprayer, you know, like those little 1-gallon pump sprayers, and just spray along the crack of it, and this plastic will stick to it and it'll seal it up really good. I would even have it go to the outside and then just spray here, and that way you don't have air creeping in. The way it is, I taped it just all like a container. I thought that that would be great, but as many holes as I got in this, any little pinhole, I mean any little pinhole, even like these, the air would find that because there's low pressure in here, and it would make the whole floor stand up. When the whole floor is standing up like this, and you see that there's dust and things on it, you see the dust getting just moved around. So then you step on it, poof, and it can kick up dust. Don't do the paint this side stuff on the floor, that's all I'm saying. The first way I did it is I pressurized it, and then I had problems with it coming out the little vents on the top. You can see there's a little vent right there, and there's another one on the other side. I didn't think about this big square being exhaust. I could have put one of these filters on that, and then that would have protected the shop a little better from all the dust. So as far as paint sticking on things, I think we contained it pretty well here. But as far as the dust that gets out, like the fan from your gun, it comes out is just like a stream of liquid and then fine droplets as it passes the air horns. Then after that, just being the dust that you see on everything. So what I did to prevent that this time around and prevent it from sucking dust in is I just took a couple rectangles of cardboard and I bent them. I held them up there, bent them, flipped them over, tucked them in, and that worked really well. I taped it, but didn't really need to. That was one of the things. I mean, it was like a volcano. When I was pressurizing the inside, all the paint fumes were going out there, and they got out into the garage, and they got into, you know, shelves and things like this. I got all this paint dust everywhere. Ideally, you want all of the paint dust to be in something to where you can dispose of the stuff properly. It's the most environmentally friendly thing to do. Back to the floor for just a sec. I have this. Hang your hose on this, and that way you're not dragging your hose through the dust, because if you drag your hose through the dust and then you pick it up and you lean over whatever, it can get stuff everywhere. Well, this is about enough room for half a car worth of parts, or half a car if you were to leave this open. If you were to put another one on this, which I may do, you could probably do a car with 2 easy ups, some plastic, and the filter setup. Whether I use 1 or 2 in the next version that I do, I would have the filter set up horizontal like this one is and up higher. I was just stuck on the idea of a door. That's why the gaps, to make it tall enough to where I could anchor it in some fashion to the top there and have that be my door. As is, what are you doing for a door, dude? So I've got this. The wood that's in there helps to hold it down, kind of like how I described over here. And then the hose just comes in through here, and when you turn on the fans, all of this just kind of sucks shut. Same thing with this. When I pressurized it, it blew out, but with this, it just sucks shut, which is perfect. I had a lot better control of keeping the shop clean by air being pulled out to create negative pressure in here, and I still had good flow for getting the paint. Once I moved away from these little filters that I started with, that was the other thing, is I cut one out of here that I had in this corner. Tried to have them on opposite corners to get good airflow. So what do you think? Is it a good idea, bad idea? I'm kind of hooked on it myself. If you have any ideas for improvement, I'd sure love to hear them, and other people may want to know too, so leave them in the comments below. As always, thanks you guys for watching my videos. I really appreciate all the advice and all the thoughtfulness and the thank yous and all you guys do. It makes it worth it to me when I know that it's worth watching for you guys. Cheers. I feel validated.
Bonus footage at the end.
Holy grasshoppers.